Mm. All right. So everybody signed in? Nice. Awesome. We're just about ready to get started. So if you guys want to start making your way over here. Great. How many do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Perfect. All right. Thank you so much for coming out, guys. This is going to be great.
All right, how's everyone doing today? So
Good.
thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate taking time out of your Sunday to be here to come learn how to do techniques. So are you guys ready to get started? You guys ready to get started?
A little enthusiasm. Let's go. Let's have some fun.
So by a show of hands, how many of you have had anything in the past?
All right. Now, raise your hand. We're one track minded. We're ready. Now, raise your hand if the knee pain has ever slowed you down or got in the way, kind of made you think about what you're going to do or restricted your movement in the past. Perfect. And for me, it can be pretty frustrating, right? Yeah.
So raise your hands if you've had an injury anywhere else in the lower body. So think hips, ankles, back.
All right. Now, the good news here is that you're not alone on that knee pain spectrum, right? We all have had knee pain. But then the bad news is you're not alone on that knee pain spectrum, right? And what we know is that 33% of the population at some point in their life will experience some form of knee pain, right? That's 1/3 of the population. And furthermore, we know that if you have had a lower body injury, such as an ankle or a hip or a knee injury in the past, that you're 30 to 40% or times more likely to have a second injury or bout of knee pain.
So we know all knee pain isn't the same. There is a difference in just getting kind of a sore knee after taking a long hike or having like a sudden injury that happens. But when we go back to the source of knee pain, we can see that it always starts long before the injury. So there was something out of alignment that led you to having mobility, to having
Yeah, and what happens is currently the majority of treatments for knee pain only look at the knee itself and address the symptom of pain. And the problem with this is not that it doesn't work, right? Because clearly it does. The problem is that it doesn't get to that root cause or that underlying reason that you have knee pain. And we define the root cause as why you hurt your knee in the first place, right? And what we do is get to that root cause. And we have so many people come up to us and tell us like, wow, I never understood why my knee hurt. I just knew it hurt. And so I got stuck in this cycle. And our goal is to help you get out of that cycle.
So today, we're going to do 3 things. So today,
But you're smiling. 1.
Two, we're going to give you things that you can do right now.
I was gotta have fun with it. 3.
So let's all make a goal together. By the end of this workshop, we will all have a better understanding of the sources of our or your specific pain and how we can prevent it.
All right, so you guys ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. So today is going to be super unique. We're not going to give you some random, overly complicated TikTok or YouTube exercises. Feel free to join. Sure. Yeah. All right. So we're not going to do any overly complicated YouTube or TikTok exercises, and we're definitely not going to do any outdated, generic exercises you're going to get from a PT clinic that wants to push you through or anything like that, right? What we're going to do today is we're going to give you the absolute best that we have, that we see most commonly in the people that we help with knee pain, okay? Does that work for you guys? All right, so we promise we're going to give you our absolute best.
So after we finish, probably 75% of you will have all the information you need to go forward and help yourself. But there's always some people, maybe 20%
All right. So now that we got all that fun stuff out of the way, you guys ready to start moving? Yeah. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the top tests that we see come up positive in people that have knee pain or discomfort or concerns about their knees, okay? So what we're going to do, if you want, we can come to the carpet. If you want to grab a yoga mat, feel free. We're going to start with a glute bridge. Having a partner is really helpful for this so you can monitor. So let's grab a mat if you want and find a space on the floor. We're going to lay down. Just find a happy space. You're good right there. Yeah. So, yeah, and so what we know about the glutes is you have three different glute muscles, right? You have a glute maximus, a glute minimus, and a glute medius. Two of those muscles, the minimus and the medius, their major job is to rotate your leg out and to keep you balanced from going this way. If we have weakness in those two muscles or one of those two muscles, a lot of times we start to do this every time we walk, and it's subtle and we don't know it. When that happens, it changes the way our leg articulates with the ground, changing things up the chain. So what we're going to do is we're going to have one of the partners lay on your back. You're going to bring your feet as close to your body as possible, okay? What you're going to do at this point is then lift your body off of the ground. Once you feel stable, you're going to lift one leg up towards the ceiling, hold, back down. Then you're going to reset, lift the other leg. What we're looking for is we're looking to see if one of our partner's hips drops. What that means is that the leg that's down has some glute weakness. Does that make sense? Yes, so what a test would look like is if I'm here and I lift my right leg and I dip or I wobble, that lets me know that my left glute has some weakness. Does that sound good? All right, so everybody have a seat, lay down, one person, and we'll take some turns going through it. Find a buddy. And then we'll come around and work with you guys as well. Anybody? That's okay. That's all right. You only have to do the leg you feel comfy with. And then you can watch Alec too. You're observing, yeah. Yeah, and you can do a couple. Yeah, that one. So that one's super stable. And obviously this is subtle, right? But then there's a little shift there. Yeah. But, yeah. Good. Oh, good job, Sonia. Good. And then switch. And reset in the middle so get a little higher. Good. Back down. So take that one was hard. I'm sorry. That's all right. Yeah, but in between reset. So put that leg back down, push your hips up again. Now lift this one. Good. And then back down, push up, and lift this leg. Yeah. Did you feel that drop? Yeah. Yep. They keep dropping down. Yeah. So that would be a positive on the left. So that one's okay. The right side. So the right side's good. And then when you lift up the right leg, it dips a little bit. So then the left side would be the, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and then you watch your partner and see what they come up with. Yeah. Yes.
We don't know.
Okay. So here, let's start. Hips up as high as you can. Good. Lift your left leg. So that was a drop. So push up again. Oh, no, both legs, sorry. So push up as high as you can and lift your left leg. See, there's like a drop and a sway, and it's subtle. And let's go back and lift up again. So reset.
The left or the right?
Both legs. So hips go all the way up. So we're reset. Now lift the right leg. And then that. And so back down. And you can, yep. That was not as bad. And then one more time. And then that is a lot harder on the left.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say the glutes on the left would be more. Yeah, and then that would be my assessment.
So we'll go from here.
Yeah, we go from here. Yep.
All right.
After this, we're going to look at hamstrings and then hip flexors, core engagement. And then we'll do some corrective exercises, and those will also give us information. So if those are difficult, it kind of keys in.
Cool.
Yeah. And then we go through more assessments.
All right.
Yeah.
All that, like, I can do it again if you want to watch me, or I don't know. Like, I have a hard time telling you.
Sure, go again.
Yeah. So he had.
Get your expertise.
Yeah. So right, that I would call that fine. That was super solid. Nothing moved, right? But then reset, Bobby, one more time. Lift the hips up as high as you can. Now watch the ASIS on that side. See how it dips a little bit compared to when you lift up, nothing moves.
So I'm the reverse.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you're reverse.
It feels different too. It feels a lot harder to do this one.
Are you left or right-handed?
The right-handed.
Yeah. It's different. Yeah. How's everybody doing with that? Yeah, it's an interesting thing, right? Like, and something we talk about it all the time, like, oh, my glutes are weak, but we don't ever think about it and or isolate out which one. And then when we do glute exercises, a lot of times the TFL will take over. And so we do these glute exercises, but because we're not stabilizing, all of the lateral stability is coming from here. And then that creates that lower cross syndrome stuff that's going on.
One
Going around.
after another. Really.
Exactly. And it just, yep. Yeah. All right. So how was that for everybody? Who had trouble? A little bit.
Answers, honestly.
I have trouble. You should have seen me before you guys got here. I was warming up my glutes, doing some bridges and stuff. Make sure I did it right.
All right, so now that we've tested the we're going to do one level down for the hamstrings. So everybody grab a ball from over there. So the purple red ball.
I'll grab one of these guys to demonstrate. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. I would use a lighter one. I can demonstrate. Oh, you got it?
So what we're all going to do is,
Just, there was no more other.
So what we're all going to do is lay on our backs. You are going to have your legs at about a 90-degree angle and push your hips up. While your hips are fully up, I want you to slowly let your legs come forward into a straight position. Keeping those hips up, again, I'm emphasizing it, but it's really a hard part. Bring your legs back in forward. So go ahead, everybody. Lay down on the mat.
And as you do it, pay attention. Do your legs cramp? How hard is it? Is one leg harder than the other? Right? Pay attention to your body as we do it. And you're good on this? Are you good on this?
I've been doing only bridges. So.
You're good if you don't want to do it. What we can do, though, is have you, and it won't involve any knee stuff. So let's have you take a seat. And then feet straight out, chest up. Try to touch your toes, but chest up. So that's hard. So is one side tighter than the other? The right side, and that's the side you broke, or not broke, but tore. Yeah. And so what we know is when the hamstrings feel tight, they become like a little bit weaker.
Yeah.
And when you have weakness in the hamstrings and more strength in the quads,
Right.
it creates. So if this is your knee, right, lower leg, upper leg.
Tighter on the front and the back.
Yep. And then the shin starts to do this. And so when you jammed it, it did that,
Right.
which is why that ACL.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the first time they took a piece of hamstring.
Yep.
this time they took is
From the patellar? Yeah. Yeah. So
the
we're,
hamstring has always been a little weak after that first surgery.
mhm.
So that probably definitely played into it.
Yeah. And so being able to,
And that'll strengthen it just doing that stretch.
the stretch will help, but like lack of stretch shows us that there's weakness there. And then we'll give you an exercise after that'll help with that. Yeah. Does it? That's awesome.
It's cool you can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. A ball is a ball, right? Yeah. A ball is a ball. I'll be right back. How are you doing? Okay. What's going on? So feet more, no, feet on top. Higher up. So you got something to press into. A little more. Right there. A little more. Bring, yep. Now push up. Yep. Now straighten your legs. And then bring it back. There you go. How's that? Yeah. Are they cramping?
Easily cramping.
Okay. So
Holding my feet. Yeah. I try to work.
you can? Yeah, so that lets us know that yep. So that lets us know that you're struggling to use them a little bit. And so that the calves are taking over. There's other stuff trying to help the hamstrings. And so when the hamstrings are weak and the quads are overly strong, the lower leg starts to shift forward. So then, right, like here, and that puts pressure on the knee joint, whether it's in the front or in the back at the ACL, right? And so when you get impact, kind of like I was just telling him, is when he put his foot down and he got the impact, it caused that snap because he was tense, but there was that shift in there because of the muscle imbalance. So we want to we're sifting that out.
How's it feeling? Yeah. So in your hamstrings, are you having
Which is why you felt it in your feet. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So that shows me the calves are trying to help out. Because that's where you're at your most vulnerable, right? Because the lever arm is the longest. Yeah. How was that?
It's tricky to keep it straight the whole time while you're excited,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, did you have any cramping or pain?
No cramping, no pain, just kind of
Wobbly. Okay, so not quite as strong as you would like.
not as quite as strong as I would like. No,
Okay.
the reason I came in is I am doing a yoga teacher training, but I hurt my knee. So I was trying to find ways to start straightening my knee while I'm doing the training. So
All right.
it doesn't happen again.
Awesome. Well, you're in the right place. Yeah, we'll get you some cool stuff to help you out with that. Yeah. How'd you do? I'm Aaron, by the way.
Hi,
Hi. What's your name?
Sharon.
Sharon. And what's your name?
Alex.
Alex.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So, what's going on? How'd it go?
Oh,
I heard you say it hurt.
It was better the second time,
Okay.
but I keep, swishing my rear all the time.
Yeah.
But these are a little weaker, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that
Mhm.
true?
Yeah.
'Cause I can tighten up this, but
Yep. And then because they're all kind of connected, right? And so if one is getting tight, if one's stronger than the other, it'll try to take over, right? And then it'll start to fatigue out. And then those muscles that aren't as strong will start to kind of just get lazy, right? If you're doing a group project and the one person that doesn't do their role, every week they just do less and less. That's kind of what happens. And then you get the stronger on one side, like the quads, and then usually the hamstrings will become a little weaker, and that'll cause some shifting, and that's where the tension comes from. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense what you
I
were
think
saying.
this part is balanced pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
strength-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But, my hands, I'm right-handed.
Mm-hmm.
So I have bigger muscle here, and I do lift weights,
Uh-huh.
but I can lift more.
Yeah, with the right hand than the left. Right, so you're kind of doing everything with the right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've got pretty good balance on both sides.
Yeah, that's what's important.
I do a stare down.
A stare an hour? Oh, a stare down. Yeah, that's smart.
If I concentrate on my body, then I start to wiggle.
Mm-hmm.
But if I look there, it knows what to do.
Yes, your eyes teach your body how to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call that a drishti point in yoga.
A what?
A drishti
Yeah, I
Yeah.
started yoga
Oh,
here.
good. So you know
In
that
1980.
kind of like
Oh,
focus
wow.
on one thing and it helps you balance.
Nice.
It's also like when you're spinning and dancing, you have to keep
Oh, okay.
one single dance.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Well, very cool.
Connect.
I'm gonna see how these guys are doing. How's
I
the?
like your hairstyle.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Put a lot of thought into it. Thank you. How did this exercise go for you guys?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Destiny came over and you were saying, was she saying your hip wanted to drop this way a little bit? Yeah.
Was it? And it's that same. Was it the same leg where the
I think it was.
glute? Yeah. Yeah. So something's going on the right side. Yeah. Ready? Yeah. Sure.
Okay, next torture exercise.
All right. So, how was that for everybody? Who had felt like it was hard or had some weakness, maybe some cramping? Right? Who felt a little wobbly? Right? Yeah. So, and it's teaching us different stuff about what we have going on, right? Where we have glutes that work with lateral stability, our hamstrings help to stop our lower leg from going forward. If our quads are super tight, hamstrings aren't as engaged, that puts pressure on the knee in a different way, right? Just as if the glutes aren't doing their job, we get other muscles to take over. Those compensation patterns we kind of briefly mentioned, but are a big deal that everybody seems to know about, right? We're on the same page with that? All right, so now you can kind of toss the balls to the side. If you want to throw them back there, feel free. And now what we're going to do is called a hip 90-90. And this exercise is we're looking at hip flexors, mobility of our hips, but more importantly, it gives us an insight into our core stability. Reason why this is important and why we check it this way is we know that over time, different body positions, different activities, whatever it is, causes us to lose innervation of our deep core stabilizers, right? And when that happens, a lot of times all of the ab exercises we do or the things we need to use our abs for or our core stabilizers for, we end up using our hip flexors for, and they get tight or weak. And then we get, and we say like, oh, I have hip pain, things like that. And that can be from the hip flexors because the core is disengaged, okay? If that happens, we know that every time we rotate, we're going to turn this way. There's a hip flexor that's going to pull, and if that pulls in a way that it shouldn't, it's going to change, again, the way we hit the floor, causing pulling on that knee or that leg, right? Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, and that over time will lead us to be predisposed for injury. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit down. Our feet are going to go on our heels right in front of us. A good way to start that, the thing we're going to do next is we're going to rotate to one side. I'm going to drag my leg around until I feel comfortable and everything goes down. We're then going to be in a 90 degree position. Sound good? At this point, you can use your hands for support, or if you want to feel fancy, your hands can come up. I'll start with the support. We're going to rotate our hips around. We want to keep our thighs as close to our body as possible. Rotate and down. Once we're here, the goal is to see if we can get our knees flat on the ground on both sides without us having to lean forward, with us sitting up straight. Good. And then we're going to switch sides. If you can do it without your hands, amazing. If not, that's okay too. And we're going to switch. Can we do it and keep our heels on the floor? Do we have to lean side to side? And let's try back and forth. So everybody play with it and try to understand what your body's telling you. Does your leg have a hard time going down? Do you have to constantly shift your hips around to make it happen? What do you feel when you try to sit up tall? What weaknesses do you feel? What pressures do you feel? And go back and forth. And if you have to use your hands, that's perfectly okay. Who's struggling with this? Who can get their knees to the ground? Me? Awesome. Can you get that back knee down? You two, both of you guys. Good. Good. And back. Can that one push down? And keep going. We're just going to come around and start talking. Can you push this one down? There.
If I go like way
Yeah.
onto this side.
Yeah. And then can you sit up with it? So we know we might have a tight hip flexor on that right side. Okay. So let's try again. Yeah. So now, can you push down here?
Sure.
Good. Then can you sit up? Like, so your torso's kind of here. So could you? Yeah. So you're, or kind of like this.
So I don't know which way you want me to go.
This way.
It feels really,
Tight.
yeah, but I don't, am I positioned correctly here?
Can you open this a little bit?
That's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you
I mean-
you feel it right there? So that's TFL. So what I'm getting from you is that glute and hamstring aren't doing their job.
Okay.
Now this TFL right here is super, which right there I can feel that is taking over for all that lateral stability. Yeah.
Let
So
me try the other side.
yeah.
This is hard.
Yeah.
It's wait,
Yeah.
something like this.
Yeah. So like just yeah. So I would open this leg up a little more, right there. Open this one up a little bit.
This
No,
way?
bring the knee forward,
Bring the knee forward.
right, and bring the shin towards me, right there.
Again, now
It-
right there.
And the
on this side.
TFL, and then yeah, and you can't get that glute
It just
down.
fires and it's like.
It takes over. Yeah.
Exactly.
Does it travel down the knee, down the leg to the
No,
knee?
it's pretty specific.
Okay.
But
Yep.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
That's where we're getting that lateral
Right.
stability.
Yeah, good.
The
Yeah.
idea to get both sit bones on the ground.
Yes,
Okay.
that would be the goal. Mobility. Core stability, right? Like different breathing techniques. So like like mine is about it's about a couple millimeters off on this left side. With both knees down, I'm probably about a centimeter or so off.
Yeah.
For me, I would love to get it all the way down, right? And then this side, yeah, about a centimeter. Ideally, I would want to get it a little lower for myself. But we all have our things, right?
So it's working like this kind of muscle.
It's relieving that, yeah. And by engaging the glutes, we're gonna go through a bunch of exercises that should help you with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Who's able to get both of their sit bones on the floor?
Oh, both hip bones.
Yeah, both of these guys right here. How's it going for you? Yeah. Can you get that outside leg down? Hard. Yeah. Then go to the other side. Huh, that side's not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting going that other way.
Yeah.
Do you get any tightness or anything anywhere? Right back there?
Top of the finger.
Yeah. So something's going on with those hips.
Yeah, if I carry something out in front of me.
Yeah, you feel it in the
That's
hips?
what I feel.
Interesting. Where in the back, front, side? Sides?
If I'm walking in the box.
Yeah. So it might be some glute stuff.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because those lateral stabilizers. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And so we'll do some exercises. Yeah. How's everyone feeling with that? So who had trouble putting both knees as to the ground on one side or the other, like the outside of the knee and the inside, and then switching? Who had trouble with that? No, you want to be able to sit up straight. Who got muscle spasms on the outside of their legs or tightness on the outside of their legs? Yep, same. Yep. Who had trouble getting both sit bones down to the floor? Meaning, yeah, all of us, right? Who couldn't sit up straight when they were doing it, right? And so that kind of all points to the hip flexors and the glutes again. If we had the tightness on the outside of our legs, that lets us know that our lateral stabilizers, our TFLs, or these muscles right here, are taking over for those glutes that we tested, right? We know if we can't sit up straight when we're here because our hip flexors are stretched, that we have tightness in our hip flexors, and that implies that we might have some issues with our core stability, right? Because we're using our hip flexors to do our ab exercises or the work of our abs. Does that make sense? Cool. You guys ready to keep going down this road?
Yes.
All right.
All right. So, thanks for that great exercise, Aaron.
Okay,
So,
thanks.
as we can see, we all have different challenges. Not all of them have the same double points. So, you guys cool with me telling you the story?
Yes.
So, there's a mutual person we've been working with for a while for privacy that's called Sharon. So, Sharon is a powerful woman. She's healthy, happy, and she was ready to think for life in retirement, but she had a problem.
She had a really, really pesky knee pain thing going on, and it had been going on for years, and she had tried everything. Tried this exercise and this machine and this tool, and nothing seemed to work, but she's a tough lady, so she just kept pushing through and pushing through. However, one day, that all changed.
Suddenly, going up and down the stairs of her house became excruciating. And the extra challenge with this is her bedroom was on the second floor of that two-story. So every single morning, she had to gather every single thing she needed for the whole day, and because of her pain and her fear and insecurity about her ability to go up and down the stairs, she had to do all of this with an extra room. And what's the saddest part?
The worst part was that she was unsure if she would be able to do that one thing she had been planning to do since she turned in her retirement paperwork 6 months ago. And that was work at the Wild Animal Shelter. I think it's in Petaluma. At the Wild Animal Shelter and hang out with the big cats. Yeah.
And however, after our first knee workshop, she started a plan with the two of us, and we worked with her to find her specific root cause, address her issues, and come up with a plan specifically tailored for her.
And now Sharon is happy, going up and down the stairs like a boss, and she's hanging out with the big cats at the Wild Animal Shelter 2 to 3 days a week and living her best life. Yay, Sharon. We should all be like Sharon. All right. And so with that, are you guys ready to see some of the exercises we used to help Sharon? All right. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to have everybody stand up, and we're going to do with one of my favorite glute exercises, and it is a bastardized version of the fifth position in ballet, if anyone knows what that is.
I laughed so hard when you said that.
So if you need, feel free to grab, to use a rack or a wall or something around you for balance. But what we're going to do is we're going to stand. Well, before we go, I want you guys to all see. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand. One foot is going to go forward, straight forward, and the other foot is going to create a T behind it. The leg that's creating a T is the leg that we are going to use for our glute exercise, okay? It's important that we make sure this leg is as rotated out as possible. If you start to go in, you're going to change the muscle that you're using, which is also going to kind of key us in on how we've been doing things. So you're going to plant here, rotate out as far as you can, and lift that leg back from the glute, making sure it's as rotated out as possible. Hold, 1, 2, and then slowly let back down. When you're back at the starting position, reset, rotate out, and lift up again. What I would like you guys to feel for while we're doing this to see if we're doing it right is you can put your hand here for those lateral glute stabilizers, not straight on the back, but a little bit off to the side, okay? And we want those muscles to contract. This is what we don't want to see. If you put your hand here and you lift back, you don't want the muscles here to contract. If you are, that's the tensor fasciae latae, or the TFL, which is a secondary muscle for stabilization and moving your leg in that direction. However, it has a real long tendon that goes to your knee. And if that gets overly tight, it changes the way your knee pulls, changes the way everything happens, and creates those wear and tear patterns, right? Those muscle compensations we talked about, right? So let's try it. Do a few reps on each side. Start with the hand here, start with the hand, then go to the hand here, and think about what you feel, and we'll come around and check you guys out. Yeah, let's see. So go back to the start. So I'd bring this foot back more midline. Good.
Okay.
Now, it's okay if I touch you?
Sure, of course.
All right. So now lift that leg straight back behind you.
Straight back.
Right there. Now you're doing it right. Can you externally rotate a little more? Right there. And that shuts off the TFL.
Okay.
So put your hand right here. Internally rotate a little bit. Internally.
Intern.
Yep. Yep. You see how that turns on?
I do. It's
Ex-
easy to go intern.
Yep.
It's hard
Exactly.
to go lateral or external.
Exactly. So now back to the starting position.
Okay.
Fully externally rotate as far as you can right there, and then squeeze, and then go back and make sure you don't fire on that TFL.
And
So
with it in this position, I'm going
straight back. So here, straight back, and you want to keep it as close to midline as possible.
Okay.
If not, and if you cross midline, that's great. You just don't want to move laterally.
Okay. So is
Huh?
this sort of it?
Yeah.
Okay. Check me on this side.
Yep.
My back. You want me about like this?
Yep.
Okay.
Good. And back down. So externally rotate some more. Other way. Right there. Good.
I feel it.
Yeah. In the glutes, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. And then so now rotate out. There. It's like going to be an extra little oomph that you got to do. There you go.
Okay. I feel the difference.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. So then, yeah, no problem. And then I want you to practice it. So as you practice it, one hand here, back, and now feel the glute, and then try it again where you're feeling the TFL. So you're kind of teaching yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. How you doing with it?
Good, man. I'm doing all my homework.
All
Yeah, thanks for using it over here.
right, thanks. How you doing?
Good. I'm having trouble like keeping my hips fully forward. I was just on this leg. The other one was fine. And then I am trying to figure out if I'm activating only this muscle or if I'm activating this one too. And I
Okay.
can't tell.
Do you mind if I help?
Yeah.
Is it okay if I use my hands to touch it?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. So let's start. I'm going to start with my hand here.
Okay.
So lift straight back. So now can you rotate your foot away some more? There it is. And back down. And do it again. Okay, so externally rotate a little more. A little more. There it is. So let's take your hand. I'm going to have you touch right there. So leg back down and lift it up willy-nilly. Okay, do you feel that?
Yeah.
Now rotate it out as far as you can. Do you feel that?
Yeah. I
That-
gotcha. It's a different muscle.
That's the difference. You see how that one just instantly turns off?
Yeah.
And then it's probably hard. You might
It
feel
is.
some stretching on the inside.
Not on the inside, mainly like right under.
Okay.
here.
Yeah, like the fascia's kind of peeling.
Yeah.
I get the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's the TFL here, and there's like a big old fascial thing
Oh, okay.
that comes over the glutes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so
Fun.
yes.
So you have to just like really externally rotate
Mhm.
to activate it. Okay.
And take your time. That's the thing, right? Like we always rush through exercise, and it's like slow as smooth, smooth as fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really being focused on that squeeze and push,
Gotcha.
and one rep at a time, right? Like doing.
really slow.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. I tell most people, they're like, "Oh, how many sets of reps? None. Just feel it."
You like just see how the first one feels.
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah, one at a time. Like 3 really good ones with good thought behind it
Right.
will do so much more than like 3 sets of 10 of haphazard ones, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Sweet, thank
you're
you.
welcome. Yeah, so I would just hold a hand here and a hand here, and well, alternating. Yeah,
Alternate 'em.
yeah, and
And
just
just like even on both foots, just really kind of externally
Mhm.
rotating. So
Like-
you're not like perpendicular. You're kind of like
yeah,
okay.
like perpendicular is a start,
yeah.
and then from there, right? Because it's hard to be like, so turn it out as hard as you can,
Right.
and then
Turn your foot
Yeah.
as far as it will go. To the
right.
back.
And a trick that I give people too is as you rotate out to, I'm gonna fall, but as you rotate out to come in and across.
Okay.
So like cross the midline a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So it's not like straight back.
Yeah.
On diagonal.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, you're welcome. How you guys doing? Yes.
So I'm doing this one.
Uh huh.
Forward, right?
Uh huh.
Go out,
Uh huh.
sit forward, staging there.
Uh huh.
This side is on fire.
The right side?
The more I'm doing this,
Yeah.
but now I'm feeling it move into here, as I've done these more. So I need to stop because I shouldn't be engaging these
Go slower.
slower in the.
So the reason why the right one is engaging is because that right glutes are, so you're standing on one leg, right? The job of the right glutes is this motion, right?
Okay.
And so if you have to balance on one leg and that right glute isn't doing its job, right? So now it starts to go here. This muscle is going to take over
Okay.
and start to get on fire because it doesn't, your body doesn't want to do this, right? And so what I would say is do 1 rep at a time. So you come here, really squeeze here. I make sure, like I feel here and I'll feel here. I'll lift up, make sure this is relaxed. If it's not, I'll squeeze a little more, make sure I'm good here, back down, relax, and do it again, right? Because we're relearning something that we haven't been able to do for a long time. And so, and when you're training strength things like this, 1 rep at a time is better than like 4 or 5 mediocre ones because we're not building the muscle, so to speak, right now. We're building the brain connection to the muscle. So we're working on neurosynapses.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So and if the TFL
Mhm.
one is typically tight,
Mm-hmm.
what's a good stretch for it?
Not a stretch.
Not a stretch.
This exercise.
This exercise.
Because you're teaching your body to turn it off.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Turn this leg off.
Turn this muscle off
Yes.
during,
By engaging the other stuff.
When
is
you're
straight.
lifting.
right, during the right exercises. Yeah.
I've noticed the difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the goal, which is why.
Because I was getting a lot of stress all the way to my knee.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's usually from here because it like pulls.
Right.
Yeah. And so by using the glutes, it shuts the stuff down and then, yeah.
Much different.
Yes.
Much different.
Yeah. And then go slower and kind of feel it with your hand. Yeah. And then even if you want to make it better, go back and then bring it across there, that way. And now try to turn out.
Try to what?
So now once you come this way, then rotate a little bit more.
I can feel it all the way.
All the way up to the back. Does it hurt or just feels it?
No, it just, I can feel it.
Okay. But just feel it. That's good. As long as it's not hurting.
Yeah. And probably the ankle.
Yeah.
Turning
Mm-hmm.
much more.
Oh.
Because walking a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and there, I mean, but it's kind of all connected, right? So if those glutes have been wobbly, now the ankle's taking a beating, you know, it kind of just travels.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I understand that.
yeah. Let me go check in over here. How you doing with it? Yeah, were you able to figure out the balance?
It fires in the cheeks.
Does it? Yeah.
Top of the cheeks.
Yeah, you want to try real quick? Just kind of curious. So do you mind if I,
Facing forward as much as you can.
as much as you can? That's a hard part. Do you mind if I kind of touch your hip? Good, and back down. And go again. So here, let's rotate out a little more. And can you go back this way? There it is. And back down. And honestly, you don't even have to go that far back. So I would start, relax for a second. I would just do like right about there.
Oh, really?
Because once you do that, you're starting to
So
lean.
forward.
Yeah, it's just a lot of effort. Yeah, just like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Do you see how
Gotcha.
like it's like a tight squeeze? Yep. And then, yeah. Just feel right here. Yeah. And just really, and once I get back here, I'll squeeze and like really like,
Like squeeze the cheek.
and yep,
Yeah,
squeeze the
okay.
cheek a little bit more. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can feel them firing off. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
that guy's been getting me.
Huh?
Flies been
Bro.
getting me too.
There was one in my office for the last like 2 weeks, or maybe not 2 weeks, but last couple of days. I'm like, I can't handle it. It's like almost like slap this lady. I'm like, wait, chill. Do not do that. All right. How's everybody doing with this? Enlightened? You guys make it to 100.
I'm 82.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you got 18 years in
My
you.
dad lived to be 95. His mom lived to be 93.
Oh, yeah. So you're on the right track.
Ate donuts and smoked cigarettes.
Yeah. And you're working out, so you're doing all right.
I don't eat donuts. I don't smoke.
All right. So you're good to go. That's awesome. Where did That's great. Is anybody having any issues with this? No? Okay.
So again, just to do that every day, a couple times better
Mhm.
than
Yeah.
before.
Yep.
Just
Feeling it, and as you get better at it, you'll start to be able to do more reps, right? The real goal is to be able to start and to be able to feel it and know that, okay, the difference, right? Like, oh, the right muscles are moving, the wrong muscles aren't moving. That's step one. Once you do that, then you can start adding reps and doing all the other fancy glute exercises. But the first step is to feel your body and understand how to use those muscles. Sounds good? All right. You guys ready for the next one?
Yep.
All right. We lost our friend.
Alright, so for those of you who have a difficult time with the hamstrings also, with those hamstrings, we're gonna work on building that up right now. So we're gonna work on what's called a pivot through doing an RDL. So I'm gonna have you have your feet about hip width apart, and you're gonna bring your hips back and lean forward. A couple things we don't want is your hips just staying in place and your upper body is moving. We want to draw those hips back, imagining you're trying to close a car door with your backside. It's like this.
Yeah.
I like the thumbs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with this, you want to think about really actively engaging through your feet, pushing the ground away. So you will feel some engagement through your back, but we want to feel it mostly through the back.
Are you cool if I give a tip? So, one thing that I tend to talk to people about is, so when you're pushing that car door in, right? You want to think about, as you go back, you want to feel kind of like you're sitting into a muscle sling, or like you can feel your hamstrings kind of engage a little bit. Yep. And you want to aim your shoulders to be as close to those toes as possible. So that kind of also helps to position yourself. Good. Yeah, slight bend. Yep. And then as you push the ground away, you should feel your hamstrings kind of engage a little bit. Yep. And so somebody asked me, I think it was you, how do we get stronger in the hamstrings to make sure that we don't have that imbalance? This is one of them, right? And by using our feet, it's mimicking walking and standing, right? By making sure that we intentionally use our feet. So let's try it. We'll walk around and give you guys some help. Sound good? All right. Sit back in. Good. Good. So I would start hips first, knees second. Yeah. Yep.
And how far down do you want?
That's about good. So it's less, you're doing more of a squat. So you're kind of like here. We want to be more like static in our knees. And then push. Yeah, like that.
Okay. So hips, then
Yep.
knees, right?
Yep. And like slight knee.
Slight.
Yeah. So like right about there. And now keep pushing back, 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 back.
Okay, that's it.
There you go.
Yeah, I can feel. I was trying to. as you
Yeah.
said, it was like a squat.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll feel it. Yeah, little bend right there. Push back, but hips back, hips back. There you go.
Okay.
And then, so now squeeze your glutes while you do it so the knees don't fall in.
Trying to squeeze.
Good. It's all right. And then push.
It's all practice.
It's all practice. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Good. But then the goal is to see how parallel can you get your chest. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. There you go. Good work. Good. Remember, push that door closed. And if you guys want an extra challenge, use your glutes. So what I mean by that is squeeze those glutes. Now sit back and see how that feels. And then push the ground away.
And my knees don't crack as much.
Whoa, there you go.
Yep.
That's the goal.
So wait, we're engaging the glutes, coming back up, or going up?
Yes,
Oh, that is weird.
up and down. So I'm gonna squeeze my glutes here. I'm gonna sit back. Now I'm getting big stretch in my hammies. Then I'm gonna re-engage, push the ground away, and now I fire up. Yeah, I love that. So you're feeling the difference. That's way cool. How you?
You know your body so well.
Which is a good thing. It's cool to be that connected to it. A lot of it was something I had to learn. Yeah. You doing okay? See it. Yeah.
Wait, does it matter how far you go?
So yes and no. Yeah. Yeah.
Right up from the knees.
Yep. So for me, when I'm doing it, I'm going back as far as I can. When I squeeze my glutes, I feel my hamstrings more. Then I'm gonna take my shoes off so you can see. So then now, right? So I'm here. You see how my toes want to come up like that? I'm gonna push my toes into the ground and use that to push the ground away. Does that make sense? Did that feel different? Yeah, probably more hamstring. Push the toes in and push the ground away. Yeah. And so then I would try to keep this as flat as possible. Yeah. And so hips keep going back. Go back, 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 hips back, hips back, hips back. Keep going down, 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 down. Knees straighter. So big stretch, chest up. Now push the toes in and lift and push the ground away. That's how I do it. Yeah. And one thing I just thought about that might help is to get a little more hamstring engagement. And when Destiny mentioned pushing the ground away with your feet, as we go down, right? If you guys want to watch my toes, we go back, you get the weight on your heels, right? And so that kind of lifts our toes up. What we want to do here is push those toes into the ground. Once you do that, you'll probably feel a little bit more of a stretch in your calves and hamstrings. Now, once we're in that position, pushing them in, that's when we're pushing the ground away.
And for those of you who are having a tricky time feeling kind of shaky, if you have thinner shoes on, it can really help you. So if you have those really thick, cardio shoes, it's not going to give you as stable as base. So you can experiment with doing this in your bare feet, having that go more in here, or having thinner
Huh. All right. So how's that for everyone? It's kind of a challenging, interesting exercise, right? It's honestly one of my favorites. So thank you, Destiny, for bringing that home for us. All right. So we all had our struggles with our hip 90-90s, right? We talked about how that was core engagement affecting the hip flexors. So what we're going to do now is a dead bug. Before you think this is some corny, crusty, overused exercise, probably didn't do it right. So if you ever did a dead bug and you thought it was easy, wrong. So what we're going to do is I'm going to demonstrate, and we're going to use partners for this one as well. I'm going to lay on my back. My head is going to be as flat to the ground as possible. If you need to lift it up, that's fine, but we prefer it flat. We're going to have our hips, our femurs going straight up towards the ceiling. Knees bent 90 degrees. If you a little more, it's okay. Arms are going to go straight back. Here, a lot of people are going to be arched, okay? What we want to do is really push our back, our low back into the ground from about here to here, okay? So we're pulling our rib cage down, tilting our hips, and we're breathing into our tummy. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to start with my left leg. I'm going to lead with my heel, and my right arm is going to go back. I'm going to go nice and slow. Fast, that's easy. Anybody could do that. Slow and controlled, making sure my back doesn't come off of the ground is where the challenge is, okay? So, let's see if we can do it. Think about what we're looking for is, can you keep your back on the ground? Do you have snapping in your hips? Does it hurt? Are you feeling it in your hip flexors or your hips? Or are you feeling it in your core? So, let's everybody get down and let's figure it out. And as the partner, get permission first, but see if you can get your hand under their back while they're doing the exercise. And we don't want that. So don't let them get their hand in. Imagine you got 20 bucks left and they don't let them get it. So arms up towards the ceiling. Yep, just like that. Yeah. And so now, can you squish me? Right there. Right there. Squish me here. Good. And then move your leg. Good, but slower. And you see how that comes up? Go slower and keep this down. Don't let me in though. So you lost 20 bucks, bro. Don't let me take your money.
20 bucks is 20 bucks.
20 bucks is 20. Hey, that's what I'm saying. Any day of the week.
That's tricky.
It's hard, right? Yeah. Yeah. So what I would start with, keep your legs up and just really start trying to get the back into the floor. And like try
That's
to
kind of just rotating the hips up off the ground more. Yeah?
Yep, but using your abs to do it. There. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Now once you do that, then you can move your legs. But don't let me take your money. Yeah. So for you, I would start with no movement
No movement.
and just fight it. Keep it down. And once that becomes easy, that's when I would start adding in the movement. Yep. It'll do it. How you doing?
Are you feeling it?
I'm gonna reach under you. Oh, there you go. Yeah. A little bit more right there. There it is. There, that was good.
So you might want to push down more because see how your back is up. Put your hand back.
So what do we do to counteract
You have to lift your hips out more.
So,
come up like this?
So imagine you're gonna do like curl into a ball. So you're gonna draw your pelvis towards your rib cage, and then you're gonna pull your rib cage down towards the ground.
Okay.
So yeah, and then imagine your last 20 bucks is here. So let's take a step back for a second. Let's go arms straight up towards the ceiling.
Okay.
That way, and then extend your knees a bit, to 90 degrees, to about right there. Okay. Now I want you to pull your pelvis up through here. Yep, and then pull your rib cage down right through here. That way, good. So I can't take your money. Good. Now leading with your heel. You're gonna drive that leg forward, and then just like that, and you feel the snap, right? So push down right through there, but don't lose the engagement.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
There you go. There, that was better, but nice and slow. It's easy to go fast. There. So here, I'm just gonna put my hand over that right there and go. Yeah, that's still snapping in there.
Yeah, I shouldn't be.
No, that's the goal. But it's just because the hip flex, the psoas, they're tight. They're probably rolling over the iliacus. The hip, they're probably like snapping and rolling over each other. But the goal, so I wouldn't go as low either. You could probably go about 45 to start and make it a little easier. So like, oh, sorry. Yeah, so like this is your goal.
So eventually we want you to work up
There.
towards the straight leg.
A little higher?
But we also don't want
Right there. That's a good starting point.
to work on building.
I can so feel it.
Yeah.
It's a really tough one, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Yep. That's a tough one.
I thought it was gonna be watch you.
Oh no. Full immersion. How's it going on with you?
Oh, I was watching.
Oh.
I'm trying to get.
All right. How's everybody? You retired 2 years ago.
What?
You said you retired 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh man, you're gonna break that century mark.
I know.
You're doing good.
On cement floors. And
Wow.
we timed it, how much we walked during the day. 4,000 steps a day.
Wow.
That's how big the apartment was.
Wow. In what department?
Furniture, mattresses, and rugs.
Oh.
And we move furniture, we have moved mattresses.
Nice.
I learned how.
That's
That's why
awesome.
You can do,
I was-
what did you say, 167 sit-ups? Is that what you just said?
200.
200.
Almost 300.
Wow. That's
That
why.
was 2 years ago.
Wow. That's why you know how to use your body so well.
Yeah, but I always like learning new because my body is changing.
Mm-hmm.
every year.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's very valid. Yeah. Constant growth.
Before knowing I wanted to be her when I grow up.
Yeah. Same. Same.
Do you know my sister, her knees were so bad, she went downstairs on her rear.
Wow.
She had a double knee replacement.
Wow.
That's why I feel so fortunate
Mm-hmm.
to know what to do.
Right. Still got your original tires on there? That's awesome. Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. All right. How is that for everyone? Enlightening. Tough. Huh? Stimulating. Yeah. So we had some struggles. We found kind of where we should start, where we should build, and kind of what it should feel like, what it shouldn't, right? That sort of stuff. Cool. So those are our exercises so far that can correct the test that we looked at, right? So when we look at the glute bridge, we have our bastardized version of fifth position. When we look at our hamstrings, whether it be tightness or weakness, we have our hip hinge or our RDL, right? And then our 90-90s for the tight hip flexors and the inferred core being lazy. We have our dead bug exercises. Sounds good? Cool. All right, you guys ready for the next step? Destiny's got some questions for you.
So, rapid fire questions. How many of you guys learned something today? Found trouble with the glute bridge? Dead bugs? Yeah, oh, that was everyone. Okay. It's a hard one. And the 90-90s.
What about the hip hinge? Who had trouble with that? No, this guy. Yeah. Any of the exercises. Who had, yeah.
Yeah. So, who was surprised by an exercise feeling hard? Few of you? 5 of you?
Yeah. Okay, so as you can tell, everyone is different, right? We all show different root causes. And this is why we get results, right? Because we figure that out and we help you people find those root causes and address them. Rather than just giving you like a strenuous workout or, a quick adjustment and sending you out on your way, Destiny and I work together with you as the person to find that exact reason or that unique root cause as to why you're having knee problems. We create a customized plan to address those specific needs and then give you the tools to take care of yourself going forward in the future. Okay? And that's going to allow you to do the things you love for as long as possible. Whether it's play pickleball, ride dirt bikes, hit that 102, 120 mark, right? Like whatever it is, go on rucks and then play tennis in the same day. Whatever the case is, we give you those tools to do it. Climb mountains or ride your bike up a mountain and, do yoga all day, right? So that's what we're here for.
So as we mentioned, for everyone coming and taking the time out of your day to come hang out with us, we have a super special offer.
Super special.
But before we get into the details, let me tell you who it is for and who it's not for. It's not for you if you're not committed, if you're not ready to take charge of your situation and really just find what's going to work for you. It is for you if you're ready to really take action and find your root cause. So what is going on with you specifically? What is your challenge? That's who it's for.
Okay, so if today resonated with you and you're looking for more specifically one-to-one help, we are offering a couple of really cool things today, okay? So me personally, I'm going to be offering a free discovery visit and movement assessment where we'll dive deep and figure out your specific root causes and give you information about that, okay? Then Destiny will be offering a free workout session to expand on everything we did today and to further explore the best movements for you and your body to get you where you want to be, okay? And because the best part is because you guys took your time out on this Sunday morning, which I know is hard to do, we are going to give this to you guys for completely because you're hanging out with us today and we really enjoyed it. We're going to give this all for free, right? You just got to sign up and schedule it with us. Does that sound good? All right. And wait, there's more. Because, huh?
Yeah. 90s throwback.
Because we had, yeah, there's more. What is it, Alex? Because we had such a good time today, we're going to give you some added bonuses. We're going to give you a free bulletproof knee workout program that we're going to email to everyone after today. It's going to include the exercises we did today. Plus, yep, yeah. Yeah, and we'll give that to you guys today for coming out, so you can take that with you. It's a lot of the exercises we did, so it'll be pretty awesome. And there's going to be a free knee pain guide with a bunch of tips and tricks that can help you kind of go through and continue your daily activities, okay? And start living your best life right now. So if you're interested in these things, you'll get the stuff regardless whether you want it or not. But if you're interested in Destiny's free workout and going through everything and my discovery visit and movement assessment, chat with us after. But before we get to that, we're here. What questions do you guys have?
If we want this, would it be good to do yours first and discovery and then get into movement?
I think when we've done it in the past, we've learned from each other and we've talked to each other. And honestly, most of the time we find the same stuff because, you know, that's why we're doing this workshop together. So I believe the order would be, yeah, what works best for your schedule? Good question, though, actually. Yeah. Anybody else? I know you guys have questions. Oh, we had you moving around too much. Sorry. Yeah.
So how do we get a hold of you?
We signed up.
We put a little check by our name if we want to engage with that.
Sure. Or we can just, I have a piece of paper and a pen. We could look at our schedules and figure out what day works best for everyone.
Yeah, so just for coming and signing up with your email, we are gonna just send all of you guys these freebies, and then for scheduling with us, just come talk to us one-on-one.
Yeah.
We'll work that out.
And if you got to run, you throw a little check mark and we'll follow up with you too. That works too. All right. Oh, thank you guys. Does anybody no unanswered questions about why your knees, about something specific about your knee? Or
I haven't been doing planks since because when I'm in that position, especially my right, after a few seconds, it feels like something catches.
where
And then I have pain.
in the front or the back?
Yeah, the front. It feels like my whole kneecap or something just starts coming. And I'm like, I've had lots of pain and I've been getting better, but that's still not quite right. So I still haven't done it back with the frozen shoulders.
Right. So does it feel like the knee is starting to go towards the floor when you say it's
Yeah, so I'll start feeling it this whole thing.
down there? Yep. I think that goes back to the hamstrings, right? Because when we did the hamstring curls, that you mentioned you had some pain and it was kind of shaky, right? And
Higher, and then it went down
to your foot, right? So we know that you have your quad. So imagine this is your upper leg, this is your lower leg, right? So this is the front. Call that your kneecap. we know that we have our quad here and the hamstring in the back, right? If the hamstring isn't doing its job, right, and the quad is, what's going to happen, especially in a plank, because you're contracting that quad to keep your body up, right? So what happens is the femur or the thigh bone starts to really pull this way, and the hamstring in the back isn't strong enough to keep it stable. Does that make sense? So what likely you're feeling based on what we've done today is that the hamstring's weakness is starting to rear its ugly head, and you're starting to slip a little bit forward. And obviously not this much, it's just the pressure that's occurring. But it's likely because of that imbalance between the front muscles and the back muscles.
So the strengthening for the hamstring was
So that
That's the
that
glute.
was
That's for the glutes.
Yeah, the one for the hamstring is this one that I showed you. And as you guys get stronger, you'll want to actually start incorporating the weights. They're called RDL. So same thing, but now we have the weights.
And as you get stronger from there, you go back to the ball and you can do the hamstring curls with the ball. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I was curious if any of the exercises for the day would help with that, or if there's ways to protect that muscle from streaming.
Yeah. So it depends. It's a terrible answer. It depends, right? But so what we noticed that you had some TFL stuff, right? And then the lateral glute stabilizers. So what it could be from a couple of things. One, it could be that you're pulling here, which is pulling out here, which is creating tension. And so these guys want to pull in, so they're pissed off, right? So these exercises could help with that. Or it could be more acute to that inside, or it could deal with the hip flexors, right? So abduction, so squeezing your legs together could potentially help, but coming in for that discovery visit, figuring out the root cause will give us a better answer. Does that work for you? All right.
So by strengthening these larger muscle groups in the body, it's going to take away the strain from the little guys, right? So if we have strong hamstrings, that's big, quads, glutes, those are going to give you a strong structure, so these little guys don't have to get so pissed off that we could. Anything else?
We got one more. Somebody's got another one.
You want a funny question?
All right.
I flew a few weeks ago to Boston Airport and came back to SF Airport. And when I walked through the screen, it showed my knees and the shoulder. I have no metal in my body whatsoever. So they had to do a full search.
Oh, it's because you got joints of steel.
But just that shoulder?
Both airports, Boston and SF.
Huh.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, or you know,
Too much spinach?
or you might be related to Superman and you're not telling us. Or Wolverine, I guess.
We are, my secretary, I know in the offices I deal with, she said they did the same thing. She told me.
Huh. Interesting. Would have never.
They had no answer for us.
Really? Interesting. Huh. All right. Well, that just means you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some research on that one.
Yeah.
Never
I would
heard
say-
that one before.
It's like the old adage, they don't make things like they used to. It's those original tires you got, I'm telling you. It's keeping it going.
with the knees.
Uh-huh.
Having sprained ankles or whatever like that. Is there anything else I should be doing? Because even just that technique of when we're doing the deadlift, make sure toes, the sides and stuff, that changed a lot. That felt a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just stuff like that to keep doing? That's
Mhm.
supposed to be?
Yeah. So that's called ground. I'll call that foot activation, or activation from the ground up. We'll call it that, right? So because we engage our feet into the position, now we're getting more use of that, our body as a whole. So back to what Destiny was saying, right? So now we're not just having one muscle off balance and one has to pick up. Now the big muscles can do the moving and the little muscles can do the stability. So being conscious of that will help do all of it. And then as you get better at that, then the smaller individual movements will also help.
And do it without the squishy shoes as well. So either barefoot or like thin, firm soles to your shoes. That's going to give you the stability and points of contact that you need.
Huh. Cool.
I know the difference when I don't do it.
And we want to be like her when we grow up, so There you go. Yeah.
Is there a type of footwear that's better for knee stability, like switch shoes versus hard shoes, or just depends on what activity?
It depends on what you're doing. Yeah. So if you're doing something like running, what you're wearing is awesome. You do want something to help absorb some of that impact. If you're doing something like really heavy deadlifts, barefoot in your socks is actually great, or some of the minimalist shoes where it's like little to no sole. So it just depends.
Yeah. And wide toe box too,
Yeah, I do that.
because when your feet, you want your feet to be able to spread with every step. So.
Yeah, and most shoes, including the ones I'm wearing today, they narrow your toes together. So yeah, like you were saying, that wider box is going to give you the ability to open them and really be able to make the contact. Little toe.
Does this. I almost did the toe hands like this, and I was like, ah.
I can't help it.
You know, a lot of people can't even put their hands to
Right. Yeah, it's true. All right. Anyone else? All right, guys, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. Much appreciated. We're gonna be hanging out. We'll set up we'll set up times you need. I'm just gonna grab my phone so I can do it, and Destiny probably do the same. And thank you again so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you. I grab my phone.